Hello ladies and gentlemen, this is Pangolin Advisor, here with my Endless Space 2 Hissho playthrough, part 8 I believe it is. I said I believe because it's been a while again since I last recorded these videos, specifically a week, and now I can return to this game full of desire to destroy all of my enemies. Last time we were able to destroy everybody who used to live in this little system called Hamal. And now I have desire to fire upon even more systems than before. So let us begin by checking all the notifications. For instance, somebody's aware of me obliterating a system. How unfortunate for them. Mind Mothers apparently. Well, I can get more influence or more experience than the heroes in Ugaro. I'm not sure if I have any heroes in Ugaro, but I'll probably have to check. I actually do have somebody in there. So how about we increase their experience? Seems like a good idea. Finally, we can level up a few heroes and this will be us done with the chores. So extra influence from luxury deposits sounds pretty decent if I could say so myself, but I'd rather gain more industry. Per star or per hot? I'm not sure. Where are you, dear sir? Where are you? Hero management. This hero is stationed over on Nakos. And Nakos, ladies and gentlemen, is right over here, which has a bunch of hot planets and a bunch of star planets, but mostly hot planets. So let's focus on that. As for our other hero, she's always freaked out, as per usual I suppose. Well, extra percentage bonus to industry production system sounds like a good idea to me. Now with this taken care of, I can worry about more meaningful choices, such as Ibela working on a Reality Institute, which I'm gonna need since I do desire to have as much science production as possible in order to speed up the loading process for my obliterator cannons. Finally, when it comes to our laws, I think I'm going to deactivate Hatch at Home and instead activate the Mineral Mises Act. I have no idea why I haven't done so sooner in the last video, but I suppose I must have been pretty tired by then and simply forgotten to do that. Well, no I did not. And okay, I'm losing a lot of influence per turn, but I can fix that by abolishing Deadly Intent Bill. And I will do so because I don't believe I was about to invade any system. I can also enact one more law, and this will most likely be Brains of a Bucks. And I'm losing a minuscule amount of dust over it, nothing I couldn't handle, so that it's entirely fine by me. And I'm no longer hemorrhaging ki. In fact, I'm gaining ki because of my heroes, which is quite excellent. Now, as for Gru's system, I might as well explain the situation to you. You see, I could obliterate the system, I could try to attack it, but the truth of the matter is, I don't have enough obliterators and to target every system the voters have. Or rather, I will target every system the voters have, but it will be faster to conquer Gurus the old-fashioned way by besieging it, even though it will take forever. So yes, I will do so the old-fashioned way. Besides, Gurus is a very good system and I would like to have it in its entirety, if at all possible. Can queue up a bunch of prowlers, don't mind me if I do, this will net me a bunch of bonuses. Of course the enemy, well, they did not retreat, which is fine by me. More ki and more resources. These are always welcome, and now I can just safely end my turn. So what are my plans for this video in particular? Well, for the most part, try to blow up as many planets as possible, but to do that I'm going to need more Hyperium and I'll need to speed up the load process for my obliterators. Now, the problem with Hyperium, or sorry, Archaic, not Hyperium, my bad, is that it's relatively hard to get. I can get it at CRL 2688, but getting there is a little bit tough. I do have a mining behemoth, however, which I could send to somewhere, or I could potentially just scrap it, create a science behemoth and send it to over there, which is also a a possibility, I suppose. It's not a bad possibility, I'll be entirely honest with you. So what I'm going to do is declare a battle with these ships. So I'm not sure what I declared battle against. Actually, probably a little bit more than I can chew. But I should be alright. The enemy is using mostly laser weapons. That's not entirely great. I do have shields, but they're not going to be able to withstand the enemy firepower. I can use Berserker to increase my damage, and I believe this is the best course of action for my ship, since it is most effective at short range. And I have nothing to lower the enemy laser damage, so let's go ahead and fight it out. And yes, we are going to watch this fight because why not? It seems like a fair enough start to this video. The enemy unfortunately has 2 ships in the flotilla where I cannot touch them. But on the other hand, if my ship survives this long, then at some point my ship will have free reign over enemy ships, while the enemy ships would have no firing arc against my ship. Also, oops, oh, I did not mean to script this video. I just wanted to check if my audio settings saved. They did not. Alright, I felt like something was off. I noticed that none of my video settings or game settings at all have saved from the last video. Anywho, spoiler alert, that's what happened in this battle. I suppose there's no need to come back to it now. We'll watch it again some other time, or at some other battle. I'm sure it's going to be as interesting, if not more. Anywho, my ship just barely survived. I got a lot of ki from this fight, as well as quite a few resources, so that's good enough for me. Let us now go ahead and return to Yidix, where I can scrap this ship, or rather sell it. Wait, you cannot sell a behemoth. I could retrofit it though. It will have a misleading name, but I can retrofit it at the very least. So mining behemoth will now become a science behemoth instead. So take away all of its core mining abilities. And I will also take away its Hyperion engine. Sure, engines are nice, but this ship will for the most part just stay in a single system and give me more resources. So let's first of all give me the... let me find it. I will use 1 stellar node study because it gives you a lot of extra science per turn, as well as it reduces the science cost of technologies, which is very powerful and very useful, I would say. And then I'm going to use, just temporarily, I can install advanced climate engineering and use it on one of my depleted systems. And then I'll replace it, of course, and if I remember to do so. And finally, advanced node analyzer. We're gonna need as many of them as possible. I'll later replace advanced climate engineering with another analyzer. And then I'll send this ship, well, firstly, to over here to Ybella. I guess I could mine out Yidix before I retrofit this system. It would deplete this desert, but I don't feel like I'm going to colonize this desert planet anytime soon, so I might as well deplete it and make good use of it, I suppose. And boost my industry and overall production. That's not that bad, really. Why can I not retrofit this ship? Because it's extraordinarily expensive. I did miss out on that part. I could just have it destroyed by my enemies, I suppose. You know what, that seems like a better idea than what I had in mind previously. I'll just let them destroy this ship, because it costs too much to retrofit it. I'd much rather create another behemoth from scratch. And because of how little behemoths I can have, I'm certainly going to do just that. Right, let's see, oh, in fact, I already created another scientific behemoth, I simply forgot about it. So, dear scientific behemoth, what do you have installed? Exactly the same thing as last time, except without advanced climate engineering. We'll see how expensive that is to replace, but firstly, let us move this behemoth over to Ybella. Meanwhile, what I'm going to do is create another TBU behemoth and turn it into an obliterator ship. So let's go ahead and do just that, shall we? It's going to take me almost no time at all, but there's another thing I really want to do. You see, I just finished researching a new fleet accelerator. And although I now finally have a good amount of Hyperion production, like actually a really good amount of Hyperion production, I think I'll still replace the fleet accelerator modules on my old Falcons. Instead of this one, which just increases the fleet movement points by 1, I'll use this one, which increases my fleet movement points by 3. The downside, of course, is that it requires a resource that I could use to speed up the firing rate of my obliterators, but I still believe it to be worthwhile. In fact, I think I'll install 2 of those. And this means that I can produce about 1 Falcon per 10, considering how few of them I will need for every fleet. Like, I just need 1, really. That's extra 6 movement, or 2 for extra 12 movement, which is fine. Or rather great, not just fine. Yeah, I believe I'll go for that. Weapon-wise, this ship is using unstable slugs and hell array laser. That is perfectly fine by me. Decent enough defenses, again good. I'm not so down those non-repair bots, I have to be honest with you. But they're not necessarily bad, I just think they could be something better. But I'll leave them as it is. Repairing ship after battle, especially on a tank-like ship with a lot of HP, I believe is a good idea. Besides, I don't want these ships to be going down anytime soon. So let us apply the changes. And while this system is making a TBUB, one of my other systems can work on something else. So firstly, let me check which system is the most productive aside from my capital. I don't need Ancestor Reverence anymore since I disabled the Hatchet Home law. And now let's see. Ridjo, of course, is the most productive, but Emacs is right behind. So how about Ridjo being my home system? Wait, is it my home system? Yes, it is. So how about Ridjo creates me a bunch of where are they? Falcons. Well, I can only make 6 at a time, but 6 is quite alright by my standards. I'll just take 6. I have no issues with that whatsoever. Ooh, I could also modernize the system before I make a fleet, but I really want a fleet ASAP, so I'll modernize the system a little bit later down the line. I'm also going to... Let's see, I only have a single behemoth in here, so I'm going to activate the Way of the Obsidian Eagle, speed up the process a little bit, I suppose. In fact, I can make 3 Falcons in a single 10 and then modernize. I like this idea, I'm going to do just that. Now, with this in mind, what do I want to research is a good question, and the answer to that is... Let's see, Glorious Bastion, not necessarily. Red Blade Assemblage can only be made once per Empire, but it is a rather good improvement to have. I'm very tempted to finish my military tree, and of course I can start finishing my scientific discovery tree. But to be entirely honest with you, actually, Battlefield Archaeology is pretty good. It does require Orcalkix, again, just like everything else does. But I could use it, and if I declare war on everybody in the universe, it is going to be tremendously useful. It would take me 5 turns to research, but the alternative, I suppose, would be either getting to the last tier of military era and then researching Obliterator, which would take a considerable amount of time regardless of what I do, and yeah, 5 turns to complete 2 of these. Ultra tough materials, also very tempting, would allow me to get into the last tier of the economics era, or rather quadrant. And this is very tempting because of the squad thing systems, but that can also wait. I feel like the more science the better at this point, so I'm going to go for that. Emacs is going to make me another TBUB, and it will be deployed in the north, if there is a north in space, of course. Edix is going to work on microwaves as pipes. I suppose there is no reason why it shouldn't. Although Punctuated Evolution Foundation requires no strategic resources, and it gives me a massive reward, so I'll go for that first, and then microwave pipes. Ooh, although I don't have that much antimatter, do I? I do have some, but not that much. Matraka can go for Koimachi Academy, might as well. I do have the Hyperion to spare for a change, for the first time in forever. And then you can go for microwave pipes right after, I suppose. No reason not to, right? Finally, Playon. what can it do for me? Well, the same things that the other systems did, except much slower because it's not a particularly good system. I could make it a little bit better, I suppose, but do I really feel like doing so? Like being nice to those people over there? I don't believe so. 2 more heroes leveled up, my army general or admiral. Very nice, I'll give him more damage on fleet, since that's very important. And finally, the super creepy hero who I don't know what it is can also be leveled up, and more influence sounds like a stellar idea, I would say. I think I'm gonna go for that. And then maybe, just maybe, I'll give her more science. I'm losing quite a bit of influence, more so than I would like, but I'll think about what to do with it later down the line. Okay, I'm no longer at truce with this alliance, so I can declare war on the Sophons if I so desire. Question is, do I desire to do just that? Probably, since I already have ships orbiting Kran, decent enough fleet covering my uppermost borders. I see no issue in declaring war on them right away. Aside from perhaps losing influence, but I won't lose influence by declaring war on them since militarists are in the lead in my empire, so how about declare war on the Lumeris? For free, of course. And this is going to also increase my key gains, which is absolutely amazing. So
you really want to pick on people who aren't scared to swim with sharks?
yes, I really do want to pick on you. And everybody is going to comment on that, but I don't particularly care about this. And finally, the pirates are going to engage my kites. I suppose we can watch this battle since we were unable to watch the previous one. So let's see how this one will go. I could deploy in 2 fleets, and the pirates are certainly going to do the same. I can use Berserker deploying both fleets, increasing my damage dealt by quite a bit. What weapon types are the pirates using? Looks like a lot of energy weapons actually. So yeah, again, I'm feeling like Berserker is the way to go, especially considering my close range preference. So let's go ahead and start this fight up. Get some tea ready to be drunk. Initiate the start of this combat, and while this combat is happening, I'll just briefly check, I mean it won't disturb you, if the game is properly filtered. So let me just check if the compressor is set up to an appropriate, to the proper range. I do believe it should be fine. So let's see, when the fleets open fire, how loud it will be exactly. It will be very loud for me, hopefully not too loud for you. Just loud enough. Yeah, I do see the compressor kicking in, so I think it's fine, but I'm not sure. I will have to try and remember to watch this video to tell if audio is good or bad, if it fits or if it doesn't fit. But so far so good. Pirates are being destroyed, obliterated in fact, and I might not even lose a single ship. Yeah, I think it will be fine. Excellent. And I was just in time for big explosions. Always a fan of those. Explosions are very well made in Endless Space too. In general, the fights just look glorious. I wish the audio engine was a little bit better, like it was back before the game was in early access. Back to what it was at the Gamescom. Nevertheless, I still love it, and well, I mean, what's there not to love? Let's be entirely honest about it. A fairing is there to be destroyed, don't mind if I do. We're not gonna watch that, however. And I will need to reinforce this fleet at some point, since it's not going to stay there for much longer. Alright, let's move all of the ships I can and want to move. Is there anything else I need to do before the turn ends? Let me see. What of kites are engaged at Janus? Well, we can watch this fight as well, why not? It's a fairly big battle, it could be interesting at the very least. Same price as last time, I believe, and my fleets are using a variety of different weapons. So let's see, I will use definitely at least a single Falcon in the mid flank flotilla and also one in the top one. That being said, yeah, I will leave a single ship in the bottom flotilla just to increase the amount of damage dealt across all flotillas. Top flotilla can just have 2 ships, it's gonna be good enough, and the middle flotilla is the most important one out of all of them. Berserker is gonna be worthless over here. Sensu Scrap is the way to go since I have a massive advantage over the pirates, I would say. I could go for Turtle, but the enemy is barely using any kinetic, so it really wouldn't matter. And Barrage Fire is hardly the proper choice since I don't have a lot of long-range weapons. In fact, I need to replace this battle card if I remember to do so. Barrage Fire really makes little sense when most of my fleets and ships focus on either middle to close range. In fact, more specifically, close range. So, enjoy this battle as I drink some more tea. The beauty of space opera. Who doesn't love these? I have no idea. Well, however, the auto camera was a little bit underwhelming in that one, I would say. Oh well, the battle was won, obviously, easily and nicely. What I'm going to do now is change the battle cards while I remember to do so. Barrage Fire is clearly not the way to go. Let's see what else I have. Diplomatic immunity, not the way to go either. Something against energy weapons would be nice if I have anything like this. Long range defense might be good, but I don't like the deployment factor. If you're the proud, now I'd rather not lose any ships. Smart survivors now. Grim recycling, potentially, but now get lucky. I do have a bunch of weapons that can critically hit, but that's not entirely useful. I do have power to shields, but again, the deployment factor is pretty bad since I would rather be in close range, or at close range. So in this case, I believe a better choice than Barrage Fire would be, in fact, where is it? Grim Recycling, because the deployment factor is not necessarily all that bad. It does have 1 close range deployment and 2 long range deployment. And if one of my ships is very low, it will fix the rest of my ships. It's in certain situations it's useful, whereas I feel like Barrage Fire I just was never using and I would never use considering the setup I'm currently running. Alright, let's see. The enemy has... Ooh, I don't think we're gonna watch this one. The carrier is just going to fall down flat on its face, but let's watch what we have here, shall we? Maybe we're gonna watch that, but nah, we just watched a bunch of battles and I do want to proceed at a decent enough pace. This is a good enough deployment as well, it's going to be really devastating. And the enemy is actually using kinetic weapons, so Tattoo is the way to go. I don't want to take too much damage. And let's fight! I do believe the enemy will retreat, however. Yes, they did. Alright, let's also send a bunch of probes in random directions, since I don't feel like there's any reason not to do so. And keep the siege up, slowly but steadily draining the enemy. Anything else I need to do? Well, let's see. I've got a bunch of ships that still require orders. They made it to Janus, but I need them to be at Libra, so how about you start going there, Diocese? And that is it. I can end the turn. Wonderfully. Wonderfully? What? That's the wrong word to use. Wonderful is a much better word to use. I also need to take over WASAT. I need to remember about that. And I need to hurry up, because the longer we wait, the more defenses the voters will have over in the system, so this would be rather annoying. Market-wide price increase, wonderful, since I'm suddenly losing a lot of dust. Well, how about I sell... wait, what do I use? Okay, these 3 things, so I can sell all of my super spots, no worries. And all of my blue cap mold as well, and I am now super rich, excellent. So let's see. Anti-hero of 1,000 phases has been completed by voters alone. So they were lucky and this guy spawned in their territory, I suppose. Intercept this photobomber's ship, which is on the other side of the galaxy. I'm definitely not gonna do that. Which is a shame. Reanimator is pretty... yeah, it's actually just okay, nothing more than that. The enemy is begging for a truce. Guess what? I'm not gonna give it to you, especially not for just 7 titanium. That's just insulting, if anything. Alright, what do you need, my governor? There isn't much else you can give me, actually. There's in fact barely anything that she can give me. More dust on the system, I suppose that's the very a little bit more dust. Alright, sure. Let's do that. Why not? A little bit less dust spent on a hero is going to be nice, no matter what. Let's move my ships around and let's see. I should still... I'm wondering why I'm losing so much more dust than I was before, but don't really see the exact reason. Alright, UDSA, besiege the system, please. Wait, I did declare war on the cell phones, didn't I? Did I? Did they force truce at some point and I didn't notice?
Some things in this cosmos we have come to understand. You're not one of them.
Apparently so. When did that happen? I never noticed it. Maybe they asked for truce and the Horatio accepted. That might be the case. I'm just really surprised. I swear I declared war on them. Whatever, doesn't really matter that much. It's just somewhat surprising. That's all really. Anywho, let's install microwave pipes and Koimachi Academy over on Nekos. Meanwhile, this fleet is going to continue battling the enemy senselessly, getting more science from scrap while beating the enemy with ease, I suppose. Yep, they retreated, as I expected they would. A kite awaits orders, but now I have a falcon, in fact a bunch of falcons that can be merged with this kite. This is now a very fast fleet. But I think I will leave one falcon over in Rijo's shipyard and move the other ships over to Ibala and have the kites join up with the falcons. And the other falcon will be saved for later. So, dear sirs and ladies, possibly, how many other ships can I have? Well, 4 kites. Can be moved to the other fleet. I can also fit in one small ship, but I won't bother. Go straight to Libra. In fact, wait, do I want them to go to Libra or not? That is actually a good question. I think not. I'll first stop by WASAT and besiege it real quick when I can. It will take a while, sure. Maybe I should have put 3 Falcons in the fleet, but whatever. I'll take over WASAT real quick, and then I'll move them closer to Crown, since this will be a hard nut to crack anyway. Okay, meanwhile, Ibala is going to work on its National Museum and a bunch of other things, by which I mean pretty much more geo-industrial plants. That's all it needs for the most part, honestly. And I can end it then, I believe. I'm besieging the system nicely over the Libra, although I have to admit it is a rather slow progress. But that can be, that will do. Oh, I think I know why I'm losing dust. It's because, again, suddenly I'm no longer at war. That must be it. Wait, that doesn't make sense. Whatever, I don't necessarily care all that much. Anywho, a hero has leveled up. More industry production systems, please. This will be just excellent and peachy. Ships, go ahead and move out. And a scientific behemoth. Let's see, can I retrofit you relatively cheaply? I'll check it out real quick. So, the Advanced Climate Engineering mod, how expensive is that to replace? It's pretty cheap. Let's go ahead and replace that, and let's fix some of my planets, since they desperately need fixing. I can change the wait a second. Oh, I need to orbit this ship, the system, to actually fix it. Right. I don't feel like orbiting it, really. I really don't. But I can change this area to something that I can actually colonize, so it could be either Savannah. Actually, let's zoom in and see what's better. I cannot really zoom in. So what do I want, the Savannah or Django planet? Savannah would give me more science, and some more science would be nice. I do want more science. So let's go ahead and do that. Savannah is being terraformed now. And, oh. 17 turns? Yeah, no, I'm not gonna wait for 17 turns. That was a waste, actually. So how about I change everything back to how it was? So, I mean, this was a good experiment. I wasn't sure how long it would take, and to be entirely honest. So now I know it would take 17 turns, which is about 15 turns too long. So how about you are retrofitted back to what you used to be and fly all the way to CRL. It is going to be a very long flight, unfortunately, but it is a flight that is certainly worthwhile to take. Meanwhile, the system can work on microwave pipes with ease. And Koimachi Academy, again, no reason not to make it at this point. Oh wow, they really are begging for truce. But I can't accept, why not? I guess they no longer have the resources as they offered, which is very sad because I would love to get all of this stuff. I mean, look at this, oh, it's ridiculously good. I'd love to have it. Alas, I have to refuse because apparently I have to refuse. I could see if I can demand it from them.
What sacrifice will you now ask of our faithful?
I'll ask. Oh yeah, they got rid of all of their strategic resources. Yeah, no longer. I'm no longer interested. Although, yeah, no, I'll keep the war up. I do want to capture the voters homeward and whatnot, and I don't want them to regain their manpower. So yeah, certainly let us keep up the siege. I could attack them just a little bit of an attack. It wouldn't hurt anybody, would it? I'm also going to queue up my research because this would be nice. Do I want a coal cracker? Potentially. But I don't want either of those weapons because I have very low adamantium income, even though I do have adamantium. And while I do have good antimatter income, I'm also using a lot of antimatter. So instead, let us go ahead and... Advanced railgun, I don't think I will use actually. I doubt I'll use swarm missiles either. Blast effect battery is pretty good, I might use that, and besides quantum damped circuits also good, and lethal squadrons, not the best, but at the very least it is something I could use, maybe at some point, and Juggernaut blueprints, of course, why not? It is another behemoth technology, which is always good, and of course Juggernauts themselves are also rather good. Finally, what can the system do for me? It can work on a Falcon, why not? It can work on 2 Falcons. 3? Nah, 2 is enough. And afterwards, I will see what I do on the system. For the time being, there isn't anything else I need to do. This fleet can battle the enemy fleets, and this time around I'm a little bit worried, but I think if the enemy does fight me, and I'm not sure if they will, I should still be able to just crush them and demolish them and beat them into submission. Nevertheless, never underestimate your opponent. Let's deploy optimally with most of my forces centered in the center of the fleet and see if the enemy attacks. They do! They accepted the challenge. And they're going for sharpener munitions. That's actually very smart since I need my crew to besiege the enemy systems. So let's see what happens. It is going to be a rather big fight. Let's go for overview camera real quick. Change into a free camera and show it to you right away. Those are the enemy carriers, rather magnificent ships, aren't they? And there's a lot of them in fact, by which I mean there are 2 of them. Which is still a considerable amount. It looks like they are using titanium weapons and whatnot and other things of the sort. But let us switch to auto camera for a change and see how well it works. I see my ships are already taking heavy damage, but that being said, the enemy's Cade is also taking quite a bit of a beating and it is now destroyed. Wonderful, can we please look at it? No, we can't, because I didn't click free camera fast enough, I suppose. Oh well. The enemy fighter is now engaged, which would be more terrifying if not for the fact that fighters and bombers are just really weak, and I have a lot of flak to destroy the enemy fighters, so which you can see firing over here right now. So I don't particularly care about the enemy squadrons. In fact, I don't care about them at all, and they happen to be the main source of the enemy firepower. So yeah, it looks like I'm not going to lose a single ship, and the enemy is just now losing their last carrier. Very easy fight. I have no idea why the AI thought it was more of a challenge, because it certainly was not. I did not even lose a single ship. I almost did, but almost also doesn't count. Still, I'll always take the extra 10 key they gave me. I have no problems with that. And a lot of extra science and test, also a very nice reward. I would say hard-earned reward, but this would be just a horrible lie. Anyway, do I want to terraform this planet? It is somewhat-ish tempting. I could turn it into an ocean planet, and this would be a flat-out better planet than what it is right now, so how about I do just that, and then follow it up with... I don't need system shield just yet. I haven't seen any AI with actual obliterators. So what I need now is maybe a bunch of kites. Or more falcons. Well, one more falcon will do, I suppose. One more falcon will do. And then I can end the turn. Actually, I can't, because the Ugaro apparently requires more orders. So how about you get me more influence, since that's very important. Everywhere you can, give me more influence. Get me more dust, since I'm actually losing a considerable amount. Get me more Hyperium as well. And this will be just jolly. I'll keep this fleet over there for defensive purposes, and I'll end my turn. I am rather surprised by how much dust per turn I am losing per turn, but again, my stock is so humongously large, I'm not terribly afraid. I can also hire a new hero. Probably a new fleet admiral will be in order, so... Oh, come on, the enemy is asking for a truce. In fact, that's a forced truce. I can refuse it, thankfully. And I will, most likely. Oh, but those guys are asking for a truce. That is going to give me way better rewards. A lot of dust, adamantium and quadrinics. Delicious quadrinics. I'm almost tempted to accept. Problem is, I don't want to stop besieging the enemy systems. So what I am going to do instead is refuse this truce and refuse the other the forced truce action as well. Just because I really want to take over Libra. And I don't want it to regain its manpower. And Grus as well. Grus actually I care about even more than Libra. Anywho, first up, let us go ahead and see which hero I want to take as my fleet admiral. More shield penetration is good, but it's not that good. Let's see, the primitives, what do you give me? You give me... they're mostly governors. What about the Vodiani hero? Vodiani is a pretty good hero. I'm gonna use you as my new fleet admiral. Congratulations, you have been recruited and promoted to an admiral. So let's grab... wait, not this. That's the wrong fact. The extra experience per 10 for fleet, extra fleet health. For shield capacity is actually, maybe I will take the shield capacity. And then followed up with... Energy weapon damage is not useful since I'm mostly using, projectile weapons. So how about I now gain extra experience and apply the skills, and then also modify the hero ship so that it's actually decent. Because it has, as always, crap equipment at the very start. And I'll go ahead and give it... I'll just give it what I gave it to every other thing I have. So I'll give it a bunch of slugs for intercepting enemy missiles, and then a bunch of lasers for just firing at the enemy. Then some shielding and some armor in the reverse order, I suppose. And finally, I'm going to give you a bunch of probes just to explore the area, and advanced support siege module because it is a rather useful one to have. Especially, when I actually do want to besiege enemy systems. Let's apply the change. And I'll have this here join up with, let's see. I cannot have him with this fleet because it's out of my influence area. I will be able to attach him to this fleet, but not at this turn. I'll just wait, I don't have to be in a hurry necessarily. Bumper crop, excellent, I do love it. We're going to save and gain more strategic resources because that is absolutely amazing. Especially since I would now have to disable some of my laws because I will refuse this peace treaty. And now I don't have enough influence to upkeep my laws, unfortunately, so I will abolish both of them for the time being. And I believe I can enact WASAT Act. Yes, I can, and still gain influence, which is good. Anything else I can and want to enact? Not really, let's just save influence for the time being. 2 falcons have been made. Let's send them to Yabala, attach them to this fleet so that all of my fleets can be combined, merged, and then moved over to Ridjo. Right, I'm queuing up advanced non-baronics. So for the time being, it doesn't look like I'll be retrofitting kites. Or I could give it some better lasers. But no, instead, you know what? I'm not going to queue up this falcon. Instead, I'm going to make a bunch of kites. As many as I can within the next 2 turns. And create a new fleet based on the kites and the falcons that will join up. How many falcons do I have in here? 1, 2, 3 over here. And then it will be joined up by a bunch of kites. So I already have 3 kites, another falcon. So this will put me up to 18 and just 1 more kite. Alright, and then I can queue up some more falcons and some more kites and this will be glorious. Alright, I'm liking where I'm going. I'm going to create a lot of very powerful fleets. Of course, they will be very expensive to upkeep, but that is also entirely fine. We're not gonna watch this battle because it's meaningless. Obliterator is getting ready to fire, which is again excellent. And finally, there's Yidix, which also awaits orders. So how about you work on microwave pipes? And with that in mind, I believe I can end this turn. There isn't anything else in particular I wanted to do, is there? I don't believe there is. Well, Mataraka actually requires something to be queued up. How about for a change it actually works on Ancestral Reverence just to speed up the construction process on Ridjo. And let us end turn. And in fact, it's been long enough, so I might as well end this video. Ladies and gentlemen, it was Pangolin Advisor, also known as Panchasu. Thank you very much for watching. Next video, hopefully a bunch of systems will be blown up. However, for the moment, I'll just bid you farewell, and in case you watch this video around the time when it was uploaded, this October on the 13th, there will be a live stream of a multiplayer game of Endless Space 2. I posted an announcement on my channels, so feel free to watch that. I do encourage you to check it out. Anyway, that is all from me. Thank you again very much for tuning in, and I'll see you online.